institutions like you are coming up with initiatives to create an awareness about entrepreneurship, about startups, and help students unleash their real potential through startups and through the entrepreneurship as a platform. So I really recommend and appreciate the efforts taken by all of you. I think you have to make me a co-host.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So meanwhile, I'll just give you a brief about this particular session, what we are going to discuss. We are going to understand why entrepreneurship is important, how it will help you, what all different challenges are there, which needs to be considered because all of you must be at the early stage of startup or the entrepreneurship journey. So it is very much important for you to understand these things first, and then you can go for multiple opportunities. You can explore various problem statements and start your actual MVP development or prototype creation for your business. And then further incubation support, once you get that, then you will be on track. So today we are going to discuss that, and I want to make it more of interactive. But unfortunately, as it is a Zoom session, we'll take all Q&As, questions and answers during the last phase. You feel free to ask any kind of question. Even if you think it is a stupid question, feel free to ask that, because that question might lead to something which is meaningful for you, for me, for all of us. And that might trigger some idea and lead to some innovation or even entrepreneurship, right? So I'll share my screen.
Yes, sir.
And let me know if you are fine with English, or I can talk in Marathi, I can talk in Hindi as well in between, if it is comfortable or convenient for you. Chinta mat kijiye. Right? So let's start with the why entrepreneurship is important or how it works. As an entrepreneur, आपके life में क्या-क्या changes आएंगे, क्या-क्या stages आएंगे, and then how it will make you complete. So every entrepreneur, he gets some purpose, he finds some purpose. For me, the purpose is to empower youths of our country towards entrepreneurship. That's why I started EvolvingX. The second purpose I got is to give an exposure to people who are missing a lot of things in life just because they cannot afford, or maybe they cannot access, or maybe they are disabled or not capable of exploring that part. So we started Explore VR in virtual reality. Another purpose we got, that to make people aware of this life, this planet and all these things. So we are working on another concept, which is a combination of skill development and agro-tourism. So once you find a purpose in life, you get a clarity about what exactly you want to do and how you want to do that. So the first stage of entrepreneurship is finding the purpose, finding the why, finding the cause on which you can work, for which you can devote your life, or at least few years of your life, right? So every entrepreneurship journey starts with a purpose. They find some purpose and they start working on that, or they start thinking about that. In the process, they develop a lot of passion towards it, because the purpose is something close to them. It is very close to their heart. वो मतलब एक passion जगा देता है उनमें, so that they can mentally, emotionally, physically, in whatever possible ways, they can devote themselves towards that particular. When it happens only when you are passionate enough to follow your purpose, right? So in the process, the second stage comes when an entrepreneur becomes passionate about something that he is focusing on towards the purpose that he or she has got, right? Now, in the process ahead, what happens? Entrepreneurship is not easy. Or even if you want to try something different, something which is not so conventional, apart from job or typical track that we have, engineering, medical, otherwise will be considered as failure as per the society norms. Then there will be a lot of challenges. Sometimes it might happen that things will not go as per the plan. Maybe the reason could be something completely different, which you have never thought of, right? So, or something which is not in your control. Something will happen, like this pandemic came. When I started my journey as an entrepreneur in April 2020, April 2020, I thought of starting EvolvingX, and then we entered into lockdown. And just a few months back, we are out of that particular situation, right? So lockdown or the pandemic was not in our hand, but we tried to leverage that time to convert our idea into a startup, right? So you have to develop a lot of patience in the process so that you can tackle those challenges. Once you tackle those challenges, then you're bound to succeed in your journey, right? So you got purpose, you develop passion, you develop patience to overcome all the challenges. Then what happens? Ultimately, you succeed in the journey, which gives you a lot of peace. And this is the biggest wealth that one can achieve or attain in life, the mental peace or the peace in life. We have seen a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs, they have huge money. However, they are not peaceful, right? So ultimately, when you accomplish something which is close to your heart, which is a purpose of your life, and you're passionate about, and then in the journey, you develop patience. And when you achieve that, in spite of a lot of challenges, ultimately, it gives you a peace. We are on a mission to empower 1 million youths in Maharashtra towards entrepreneurship. So the moment we accomplish that, I would be the most peaceful person on the planet. I would say that. Forget about rewards, recognition, revenue, or the money and everything else. That is a materialistic thing that will come. But that is not our target. Our target is to empower youth so that our country will evolve as a what we super country. Our ecosystem will boost, our economy will boost in the because of that particular contribution, and that will give you a lot of peace. Similarly, when you accomplish that, you will get a peace, and then it will also bring you prosperity. You will get a lot of recognition, you will get a lot of money, but it will come to you. You don't have to even desire for that. If you accomplish something great, the world is generous enough. There are a lot of people who appreciate your efforts if they are genuine, if your efforts are genuine, if it is if your purpose in this entire process is genuine. So it will bring you prosperity. And once you get prosperity and again you're settled, you get another purpose. So this cycle continues, and this process helps you evolve as the best human beings on the planet who are excelling in every walk of their life, right? So this is a journey. This is a journey or an or a life cycle of an entrepreneur, where it starts with stage one, which is purpose. Stage two, they develop passion. Stage three, they develop patience because of the challenges and the adversities in the way. After that, once they accomplish, they get peace in life. And then as a byproduct, the prosperity comes into picture. And again, you become more strong, you become better person, you get a lot of experience. Then you can go for bigger purpose, something even better, something even better, not only for you, for your company, but also for the rest of the world, right? So this is the life cycle of entrepreneurship. And that's why we should at least give it a try, because you never know where it will take you, to what excellent level it will take you. Of course, what will happen at worst, you will get a job, because this process will also develop a lot of skills. We will talk about it. So how it helps now, this is a skill map that we have created. It is also in our book, EvolvingX Methodology for Entrepreneurship. Now, what will happen if you try entrepreneurship, and what will happen if you try or prepare yourself for a job, or even if you get a job and start working for a company? Now, looking at the skills as a parameter, these are different aspects or critical skills to survive in the industry as a professional. Whether you become an entrepreneur, whether you become an employee, doesn't matter. These are the skills which are extremely important to survive in the industry. Now, talking about technology or technical skills, as an entrepreneur, you won't be working on a particular technology. You have to get exposure of multiple technologies at a time. At least a basic level understanding and in-depth knowledge of a particular technology on which you are building your business, right? Talking about your pharmacy industry, the core fundamentals of your industry should be very clear. And then apart from that, something which is associated with pharmacy, something which is associated with healthcare, medical system, and a lot of other, even technology. Because if pharmacy and lots of applications are coming these days, which are fulfilling needs of customers. They are not creating medicines, but they are supplying medicine. So that supply management change and all these things which are driven by technology, you will get exposure to that because you'll be working on that. Your startup will be on those fundamentals. However, if you get a job, you will get a particular job with the predefined set of responsibilities and role, on which you'll be working only on a particular technology for many years. right? So you will miss on a lot of other technologies and a lot of advancements happening in the industry, and you will feel left out. Of course, the moment that technology you're working gets irrelevant, you become irrelevant in that process. However, in entrepreneurship, you'll be aware of everything happening around you. You'll be very smart enough to juggle in between whenever required. So technology wise or technical skills, multiple technologies will be explored by an entrepreneur. However, only one or very few technologies will be explored by an employee, and that too for a longer duration, right? Talking about management skills, as an entrepreneur, you have to become a manager, you have to become a CEO, you have to become a staff member, you have to wear those hats every now and then. So from day one, you have to start with the management of your startup. What will be our team? What will be our team structure? How many resources will be there? How will I manage my expenses? How will I manage my business? So you get that zone created for yourself when you become an entrepreneur. And that is an experiential learning, because you have to do it right away. And then if you do a job, then first you will settle down in a role where you will get some knowledge. Then you may be eligible to become a team lead, then manager. So it takes at least 5 to 8 years to reach at a management position in a company, wherein in startups from day one you can start learning and implementing management skills. Leadership skills, you will be a leader as a co-founder or as a CEO, as a CMO at a leadership position, and it starts from day one. Again, it is same as management skills. However, leadership starts after 10 or 12 years when you go for a job. So that exposure is delayed for you if you choose employment. Now, life skills, as an entrepreneur, you'll be meeting a lot of people, you'll be traveling to a lot of places, you'll be interacting with a lot of people who are suffering. So that will give you brilliant insights, which will help you develop life skills. Empathy is a life skill. When you talk to people and understand their position, their situation, why they are facing challenges, what is the root cause of that? That experience will change you as a person, and that will be a life skill. And that will be innate to you. You don't have to read it in some book, or you have to do something else or do some crash course to learn these things. It comes with life experiences. However, in life skill, when we talk about life skills, very limited exposure to employees, because they go to office, they come to their home on weekends, they go to mall or some other place, they take few selfies, put it on social media. That's it. That's the cocoon they live in, right? So they miss on a lot of life skills and life exposures, which can help them get those life skills. And this has been a prominent observation by a lot of experts, that when it comes to developing life skills, entrepreneurship is the best way to develop that, right? Talking about communication skills, you have to sell your products, your services, your offerings, you have to meet people, you have to talk to them, you have to convince them. So you develop your communication skills when you become an entrepreneur faster than a job, because sometimes it may happen that you are not customer facing resource. So then you'll not get enough platforms to share your ideas or talk to people. You will be focusing only on the implementation of a particular technology or a particular piece of code you'll be developing, or a particular medicine you'll be developing. That's it. आपको बस जाना है, उतना काम करके आना है. You'll be having a limited opportunities to develop your communication skills, right? Now, innovation, entrepreneurship is all about innovation. Creativity is coming up with something new or different ways of improving things. So you will definitely become an innovator when you become an entrepreneur. However, there are limited chances and opportunities, because of you'll be working on a particular technology, you'll be working on a particular task. So innovation will be an extracurricular activity if you go for a job. But if you become an entrepreneur, innovation will be a must to have thing for you to survive your as an entrepreneur, to sustain your business, to always come up with something new, right? So innovation skills will also get developed. Then talking about finance, you have to manage everything. Every single rupee you have to manage for your startup, for your company. So you will develop those insights as well, and that will help you in your personal life as well. However, rare exposure to financial management when you are an employee. आपको सैलरी स्लिप आएगी, हाँ इतना सैलरी आ गया, इतना टैक्स कट गया, that's it. You will not even bother about anything else. You may think of some investments and all, but for that also you need people to advise you. However, as an entrepreneur, you will develop those skills and you will get that exposure while talking to many people, talking to your CA. So indirectly they will help you, right? So finance management, again, you will develop that skill. Networking, as an employee, you'll be having a network at max at your organization level, or maybe few team members, you'll be knowing them, your team members, few other teams. That's it. Your network will be very what we say, limited. However, as an entrepreneur, you get more time to interact with people and you share ideas, you exchange thoughts, you listen to them, you go to different conferences, you talk to customers, you talk to your advisors, you talk to your potential what do you say, sponsors or investors. So your network becomes very huge as an entrepreneur. Then exposure, you get an opportunity to meet great people, right? After starting my journey, I have met a lot of people who have been instrumental in their journey, and their thoughts, their ideas, their suggestions, their mentoring has helped me as well evolve as an entrepreneur today, right? However, as an employee, you will miss on a lot of exposures in life. You won't be able to travel somewhere if you want to travel, because you have to apply for leaves. Then your manager will approve that, depends on his mood. Otherwise, they will reject. So cannot explore the world. You cannot go to your something that you really want to go there. You can't go, right? So there will be a lot of limitations because of that role, and that will reduce the exposure that you need in life. And the mindset, you will develop an exponential growth mindset when you become an entrepreneur. You'll always think ahead of time. How can I convert my business plan into something which will help me achieve my goals within few years? If it is going to take 10 years, how can I achieve that within 5 years, within 3 years? Not within 1 year. Sometimes it is only magic can do that. Otherwise, it takes time. Entrepreneurship takes time. However, once it gets set, then your growth will be exponential. It will not be a linear one. It will be an exponential. However, you have seen a lot of employees, almost every employee, they always have fixed mindset and a linear growth pattern. No matter how hard they work, they will get their fixed salary. Sometimes they may get some bonus, but that is a rare case scenario. Their financial growth will be in a linear pattern. Their mindset will become fixed because, again, there will be a lot of financial restrictions, there will be a lot of time constraints, and a lot of things will happen, right? So I'm not comparing typically entrepreneurship and employment, what is better and what is not. What I'm trying to say is how it will help you to develop skills which are required in the industry. Now, as a student, if you attempt for entrepreneurship and develop these skills, the worst case will be you will get the best job, right? And the best case, you will become a successful entrepreneur. So the track should be not preparing for a job, but preparing for entrepreneurship and developing skills which are anyways required in the job. If you do that, then definitely you will excel as a person. You will at least get a job. You can ensure your livelihood. You can take care of your family. And then when at a later stage, when you think of starting your own business or something on your own, you'll be having plethora of experiences and a lot of things with you, right? So this way, entrepreneurship always helps you. The reference is taken from this book, so I have to mention that. Now coming to opportunities. I'm sure all of you must be aware of United Nations, and maybe a few of you know sustainable development goals defined by them. Now, these are challenges at global level. If you understand these challenges and look back at your society, at your college, at your vicinity, if you look around, you'll find that these challenges are present at in our society, in our city, in just around us. If you pick those challenges and try to solve that using the knowledge, using the skills that you have, that would trigger the spark of entrepreneurship in you. For example, no poverty. How can you help people achieve more or earn? How can you ensure their livelihood? If you make somebody ready for a job or maybe business, or help them earn money, And in turn, you also earn money in that process. That will be a business. Zero hunger. How can you provide food to a lot of people who are not having sufficient resources, or maybe a place where there is no food available or limited food available? How can you ensure that? Now you don't have to open NGO all the time. However, you can make it affordable for people, at the same time convenient for your business, so that your business will run, you will ensure your livelihood. If you come up with such a model which is affordable, or it should not be cheap, it should not be I mean, it should be affordable at least, right? If you make it cheap, then you will be on road. If you make it expensive, nobody will buy that. Again, you will be on road. But if it is affordable, a lot of people will at least go for that. And in this process, you will also help people get food, right? And which is a fundamental needs, one of the fundamental needs of human beings. Then good health and well-being, this is your focus area, right? A lot of people have become health conscious, diet conscious, even they are going for a lot of organic food. A lot of medicines are coming which will help them get into better health conditions, right? Especially after pandemic, a lot of people are focusing on their health. It could be their mental health, it could be their physical health. Doesn't matter, they are becoming conscious. So it is one of the opportunity for emerging entrepreneurs to tap on these areas, and then customize it as per the local needs. Then quality education, this has been a challenge in our country since ages. After so many years, we got a change in our policy, national education policy we got just recently, right? And it took so many years to change the national policy, and even its implementation is happening in a right way now, so but it will take time. So quality education has been a concern, so this is another area wherein you can start your business. Gender equality, creating awareness amongst people, giving platforms to people who are promoting gender equality, and then converting that into business model will help you. Clean water and sanitation, again, water fundamental need, right? So clean water, again, it is a concern. A lot of diseases are happening because of impurities in water. And clean or pure water is not available for all, unfortunately, in our country. So that could be another opportunity. Or sanitation, the cleanliness and all these things. You can offer that. Affordable and clean energy. Again, this has been booming. A lot of people are entering into that segment. Decent work and economic growth. How can you help startups? How can you help businesses? How can you help people achieve economical stability and growth, right? Then industry, innovation and infrastructure, this has been a great segment, huge segment since ages. It handles a lot of areas which are fundamental in nature and which are necessities of human beings. Then reduce inequalities, this is another area where you can come up with many initiatives, programs, organizations, institutions to reduce the inequalities and promote peacefulness, and a lot of things which will help you reduce the inequalities in the society, in this system, right? Then sustainable cities and communities. There has been a lot of initiatives by few organizations, and they are sensitizing a lot of government agencies, they are sensitizing a lot of town planning commissions to convert the typical plan into something which is sustainable and eco-friendly zones, kind of things, right? Then responsible consumption and production. How can you bring efficiency to businesses? It could be your business or somebody else's business, but if you're bringing that efficiency, you will get some revenue out of it. You'll get some reward out of it, right? So creating a business model around that will also help you. Climate action. How can you help businesses reduce carbon footprint or the carbon emission? Or how can you make this planet greener and better? There are a lot of initiatives happening, and there are a lot of businesses which are focusing on these kinds of areas. Then life below water is another area. We have seen a lot of things happening with respect to pollution, with respect to challenges in this particular segment, right? Life on Earth. You can give a lot of experiences of life on Earth to people through travel and tourism. A vague example, a simple example, or maybe you can make people aware of how beautiful our planet is and how to take care of that. Then peace, justice, and strong institutions, they are required. You can start your own what do you say, startup to focus on this particular area, which will help people get peace, justice, and develop strong institutions to promote peace and justice, right? Or maybe you can partner with a lot of companies and partnership for achieving different goals. So these are global challenges which are available, which are, even our country is facing these kinds of challenges in some or other way. So these are the opportunities for entrepreneurs. And apart from that, if you look at recent trends, healthcare industry, as I spoke about, organic food is a boom, health and fitness is a boom, right? Mental wellness is a boom, meditation is a boom, yoga, spirituality. These things are also trending these days. A lot of people want to know about it. What a lot of people want to be a part of it. They want to build a cult. They want to build a community of people who are health conscious, who are diet conscious, who are spiritually enlightened. So that is one of the area where you can start your business. Apart from that, IT and IT is for all segments, all sectors, because this is an era of digitization. So every industry in this world is undergoing digital transformation. So coming up with something which will help them get digitized, or something which will help them transform digitally, could be your business. Agriculture segment, this is the unexplored area when it comes to technology. Especially in our country, there is a lot of potential and need to have technology to solve challenges of our farmers. It could be regular operations at farm, day-to-day activities at farm. It could be linkages with market. It could be quality of products. Everything is unexplored, and very few of the startups are working in this particular segment. So it is an untapped opportunity for a lot of people who want to start their business, right? Then finance. I mean, a lot of finance, especially the equities, shares, and trading. This has been booming since last few years. A lot of movies are coming in that segment. A lot of web series is we have seen, right? And now people are becoming aware of shares, share market, trading, and all these things. So if you come up with something that which will help people create awareness and earn some money out of it, then definitely this would be a great business. Education segment, as I spoke about, it needs a lot of handholding, and there are a lot of opportunities to come up with the startups to support quality education. Then automobile is one of the industries, especially the EV segment, right? Now, after a few years, every vehicle, or the most of the vehicles will be electric vehicles. So that is that is another revolution that we can see in the automobile industry, right? And you can be a part of it in some or the other way. You can start your startup to complement that particular segment, or you can start your own EV segment, right? So these are booming trends and areas where a lot of startups are coming these days, or a lot of people are focusing on, right? And then rest of the things are, again, they are also equally relevant. However, the focus is not so much on those areas. So these are the opportunities wherein you can explore and you can get your problem statement, and then further you can apply various methodologies, principles, and then you can create the business model out of it, and you can give it a try to start or convert that into startup. Now, challenges. Entrepreneurship is not so easy. You need to develop a lot of patience because things will not go as per your plan. Not every time. So I'll give my example. When I started my journey as an entrepreneur, before that I was working with RPG Group, which is a parent group of C8, KEC, Zensar. These companies are part of RPG Group, and they have their own foundation, RPG Foundation. So I was the in charge of employability skill development program to develop job readiness skills amongst youths. So I was kind of officer before that. Now I had a decent package, I had good salary, I had limited liabilities. But then when I took this decision to start entrepreneurship journey, my income stopped. However, the liabilities which I had, the EMIs and all these things, they continue. So in the process, after 6 months, I started feeling the heat because my bank balance was getting disseminated every month. And since last 3 years, my income has been zero. Since last month, only I have started accepting requests and all these things. Apart from that, I was completely focusing on building my startup and doing the research, writing my book. So a lot of things. I mean, it requires a lot of patience. At times, you will not have money. At times, you will not have team. At times, you will not have support. At times, you will not have response from people. Something will miss out, right? That time only patience will help you, right? Apart from that, if you don't have patience, you cannot become an entrepreneur. And it takes time. Entrepreneurship takes time, and it must take time because that will give you depth, that will give you clarity. Since last 3 years, we have been building our system, we have been building our process methodology. Now we are ready to empower 1 million youths, and I can empower 1 million youths within a month. Our portal is 90% ready. Remaining 10% here and there, we will finish it. And once that is done, within a month, I can empower 1 million youths in Maharashtra. So why that is possible? Because we spent 3 years to build that particular ecosystem, that particular process. So one में से कि 3 साल तुमने कुछ नहीं किया, right? A lot of people will come, a lot of people will say you whatever they want to say. ये क्या कर रहा है, entrepreneurship ऐसे थोड़ी होता है, तू क्या कर लेगा? A lot of people will say, a lot of people say to me as well, why are you quitting such a brilliant job? You are an officer. पागल है क्या? Right? So, but I knew why I was doing, what was my purpose, what was my passion. I knew that. And then how much time it is going to take, I knew that. What all challenges would be there and where I need to be patient enough, I knew that, right? So I had visualized that entire journey, that entire outcome. What will happen, when will happen, what could be a potential challenge, where I need to be patient, right? Where I need to be responsive, where I need to be reactive. Every calculation was done properly. So that helped me develop patience and survive through the adversities of pandemic, then this entire journey. And now we are at a position to create wonder in the world, right? So as an entrepreneur, you must have patience. Otherwise, you will not survive. Second challenge is haste for reward, recognition, and revenue. Our focus is only the impact. Rest of the things will happen. Rest of the things will come. If your driving factor is only money, you will never become a successful entrepreneur. However, if your driving factor is some change in the society, right, and supported by a business model. For example, let's talk about Ola, Uber. Of course, they are doing a business, but now because of them, you don't need to buy a car. You don't need to learn driving. Just few clicks and you get a driver with a car waiting for you at your doorstep. So somebody who cannot afford to buy a car, now they are traveling in a car. Somebody who don't know driving, they are traveling in a car. And it is at affordable price. That charges and all these things, it is much more cheaper than having your own car and maintaining that, right? So that is helping and enabling the society through a business. And they're getting money out of it. They are helping people get money, right? Those drivers and all these things, they have earning a lot of money. Ola, Uber, they are earning money and people are happy about their business. So if you focus on something which will add value and quality to life of people, then definitely you will get reward, recognition, and revenue. You don't have to chase that. It will come to you as a byproduct, right? Then short-term relevance of a business. We have seen a lot of startups coming up with limited short-term relevance. If your business is not going to be relevant at least for 5 years, think of something else. Or at least 3 years, your business should be relevant. Then after 3 years, you may get some different idea and this experience will help you with that. But if it is going to be a limited, it is going to have limited relevance, you should not enter into that. You have to think of something different because you will not get anything out of it. Before you get ready, that relevance will be gone. It will lose its relevance and something else will come. So you will be irrelevant, your business will be irrelevant, your efforts will be irrelevant, and that would be really frustrating. And you will never try entrepreneurship if you get such kind of experience, if you, when you try once or when you try for the first time, right? Apart from that, the biggest challenge is my life, my rules attitude. Forget about this funda. Once you become an entrepreneur, it will be my life and every customer's rule. Doesn't matter whether that customer is some company or some individual, they will be your boss. You won't be your boss. They, every customer, even your resources, your team will be your boss. If they don't come to office, you have to do their work, right? So you will not become a boss, but you will become a servant of all. And that will create a lot of pressure, which will convert you or turn you into diamond, right? The pressure which will come from this kind of situation will turn you into diamond. You'll become a gem of a person. If you handle that pressure, nothing like it. Then getting off all responsibilities. You cannot run away from responsibilities once you become an entrepreneur. You'll get a lot of responsibilities and you have to fulfill those responsibilities. And that fulfillment will give you satisfaction and peace and ultimately prosperity, which we spoke about the life cycle of entrepreneur. It will come to you. And the challenge, especially in Maharashtra, I have seen, I have met almost 25,000 students since last 2020. I have met a lot of people, a lot of faculties, a lot of principals. I mean, most of them find challenge with respect to support from family to their students when it comes to entrepreneurship. Convincing your parents about your plan is the first responsibility of every entrepreneur. Before that, you have to get the clarity and then just convey what you want to do, why you want to do, how you want to do, what you will get out of it. The skill map which you spoke about. You ensure your parents that if I don't succeed as an entrepreneur, I will get a job. They will be happy. Every parent wants their kid to become happy and settled. In fact, nobody becomes settled ever in their life. This is a myth. मैं settle होने वाला हूँ. This is a myth. However, they want you to be happy. You want to be peaceful. आपको ज़्यादा tension नहीं होना चाहिए. That is their concern. You just convince that this is my business plan. This is what I'm going to do. Side by side, I'm going to prepare myself for job as well, because these skills which I'm going to develop by attempting entrepreneurship will also help me get a job. So after my 3 years of graduation, if I don't succeed as an entrepreneur, I'll join some company. There are many companies which will offer me job basis these skills which I'll develop during that particular entrepreneurship. And trust me, companies also, they are recognizing efforts taken by students as an entrepreneur. They really appreciate if you do some project which has vast experience and the thought process or a lot of perspectives are coming out of it, because that will be a bonus point for those companies. Such a great resource will be working with them, so they will definitely offer you job. Even at EvolvingX, we really appreciate students who have done some project, who give a demo to us during their interviews and all these things. We straight away select them. So ultimately, it shows the skills and caliber that they have. So convince your parents, convince your family that I'm going to develop skills by learning entrepreneurship, which will be relevant for job. And if I succeed as an entrepreneur, आपको कुछ टेंशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. अगर मैं फेल भी होता हूं तो भी आपको टेंशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं, because I'll be having skills which are required for job and I will get a job. So आप आराम से बैठो, let me handle, just support me, don't stop me. इतना ही आपको बात करना है आपके पेरेंट्स के साथ, and they will wholeheartedly support you. हाँ, of course, if there are some situations like आपके parents retire होने वाले हैं and there is nobody to ensure earning in your family and you are the only hope, then in that case what you can do, you can work for a few years, and then once everything is settled, at least stable, not settled but stable in your family, Then you can attempt for that, or maybe side by side while working, you can start working on the business model and planning. And once you feel comfortable with that, you can quit your job and you can continue full time into your business. What will happen at worst? इतने सालों के लिए आप मतलब आप कुछ ना कुछ तो करते आए ही हो. सो इट डजंट मैटर कि और एक साल आपने खुद का पैशन फॉलो करने के लिए दिया. इट विल नॉट हार्म, इट विल नॉट हार्म, seriously it will not harm, right? So these are few challenges. Keep that these challenges will come in your journey when you try entrepreneurship. Why you want to start entrepreneurship? It will give you purpose, then you will develop a passion, then it will make you patient. Ultimately, once you achieve everything, you will become peaceful, and then that will bring a prosperity as a byproduct, and then again you can re-energize yourself to go for bigger purpose, right? Skill map we discuss, then different opportunities, what all opportunities are there today. Most of those opportunities are fundamental in nature, so they will be relevant in future as well. And then in that journey, what challenges you will face? These are the challenges. If you understand these things, you are ready to start your entrepreneurship journey. Of course, you will get support from your IIC, from your EDC, from your institution, from your mentors. Apart from that, there are lots of incubation centers available in Maharashtra. Maharashtra State Innovation Society is supporting those those uh, incubation centers. Atal Innovation Mission is there. AICs are there in Pune. We have AIC Pinnacle, we have AIC MIT ADT, right? So the ecosystem is there. Before that, entering into that ecosystem, what clarity is required? You need to understand that. So just get that clarity, prepare yourself better, and then jump into it so that you will not fail. Your foundation will be rock solid, so that even if you think of building a skyscraper on top of that, it will sustain, right? So that's it from my session. This is the book I spoke about recently. We have published on 18th of May, 2022. Just to give you a brief about this book, it has a fundamental concept. EvolvingX, what does it mean? E stands for epicenter of excellence. V stands for vast and varied exposure, which is required to become an entrepreneur. O stands for optimize operations. L stands for local challenges and opportunities. Next, V stands for value creation and value system. Then I is for innovation and IPR. N is for networking and partnership. G is for governance structure. And X is for exponential impact. So there are three phases in the journey of an entrepreneur. First is rise up, wherein you focus on epicenter of excellence. You try to become an epicenter of excellence who can propagate excellence in the society. How you do that? By developing vast and varied exposure, which is articulation skills, business mindset, business perspectives, then clarity about life, about the segment, about domain and the industry, and then a particular domain expertise. And then O is for optimize operations. Without operations, your business will be just on a paper. It will be just a plan. So once you understand these three letters, EVO, you rise up as an entrepreneur, or you get ready to become an entrepreneur. Then next phase is build up, when you start building the startup. How you start that? By understanding local challenges and converting them into local opportunities. This process will help you get the problem statement that you are looking for. Then you try to add a value proposition you will come up with, right? How to come up with that? How to build a value system for your startup? You have to be driven by values. And then how you do it? You do it innovatively and convert a lot of IPs, which is intellectual properties, out of that. So if you focus on LVI at later stage, this will help you build up your startup. And then next phase comes NGX, which is scale up. How you scale up? You scale up by building a network and partnerships. You need networking, you need partnerships to scale up your business. Now, when you scale up, you need processes, policies, SOPs for your business. So that is nothing but governance structure that you need to create for your organization, for your startup. And X is X factor of your business, which will ensure the exponential growth. Now, the greatest shortcoming of human being is the inability to understand the power of exponential factor. A lot of people, they are living their life in a linear way. However, there are possibilities to grow exponentially. Something that you can achieve within 10 years, can you do it in, let's say, 2-3 years? It might be possible, it might be not possible. However, if it is possible, you will at least you will start thinking on that direction, and it will help you achieve something faster and grow exponentially. So, and it is not necessary that every business will have that X factor. When we started planning for EvolvingX to empower 1 lakh students, our plan was to spend 5 years to empower 1 lakh students. Then I sat in this room for 6 months to develop and think. I used to sit in this room for 16, 18 hours a day just to come up with different thoughts, different ideas. And today, in a single day, we can empower 1 million youths in Maharashtra because we are building a platform, and that platform is our X factor that will help us create that exponential impact, right? So this methodology will give you brilliant perspectives, and it is not only for early stage startup entrepreneurs, it is for everybody, no matter how much experience that person is. It is life skill, and we have simplified it in a way so that you can engage yourself, and you can so the references, illustrations जो मैंने खेत में observe किया है, which you have seen in your life, such experiences I have added as a reference, as a material, so that these concepts will be very simple to understand. Storytelling use किया है so that आपको bore ना लगे, right? Because the engaging span is very less of students these days. So to keep it engaging, storytelling tool use किया है, real life examples, cricket सबको पसंद है उसके examples. So I mean, it will be great evolution journey for you if you understand these concepts, and I can give you in writing. If you understand this book, you are bound to become a successful entrepreneur. I'm not saying this is because this is my book, but something which has helped me personally. And I'm meeting a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs. Yesterday, I met 3 people. One is actor in Bollywood. Another is serial entrepreneur in solar energy and IT and healthcare. And third one is senior mentor for startups with Symbiosis. I met these 3 people. We had a lot of discussion, and they really like this concept because this is what they are also looking. This is what they are also trying to help students and their mentees with, right? So I mean, this book will really help you understand the fundamentals of life, and entrepreneurship is just a part or the ways to excel in life. So it is available on Notion Press. It is available on many platforms. Whenever you want to read, just go and have that book. We are partnered with 120 institutions in Maharashtra as a youth empowerment partner, especially towards skilling. And I'm planning to visit all colleges, our 120 institutions, including yours, very soon. So probably September, October, November, I'll be traveling all institutions. एक college को एक दिन भी देना पड़ेगा तो भी मुझे 120 days travel करना है. So whenever I'm at your college, we can definitely have a talk. We can definitely have a discussion. I would love to see you guys. I'd love to mentor you guys, understand your ideas, and try to convert that into potential startups. I'll be more than happy to do that with you guys. So thank you so much. That's it from my side. And I hope these insights will really help you and evolve as a startup entrepreneur. So thank you so much. And we can start with the Q&A.
Thank you so much, sir, for this knowledgeable session. Really, sir, the session was very interesting, and in a simple way, sir, you described about all the entrepreneurship skill, and really it would be very helpful to all our students as well as our faculties. So I request the participants, if they have any questions, they can post their questions in the chat box.
No questions, which means you understood everything or nothing. I hope you understood everything.
So actually you explained everything in such a simpler way that it made us clear with all the things.
Anything that you want to ask. A lot of people ask me how to find the problem statement. Simply go and look around, travel to places, meet people, talk to them, understand their pain points. एक 2 दिन एक weekend निकाल के आप बस पुणे घूम के आ जाओ, आपको 1000 problems मिलेंगे, and then find something which is close to your heart.
Question. Yes, sir, there is one question from Jagdish, which says that which book you suggested?
It's EvolvingX methodology. Yeah.
Also, one participant has raised his hand, Mr. Sahil.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes,
Good
I.
morning, sir.
Before that, I have got a question from one of the participants. It is a direct message to me. Sir,
Okay.
some of them are having financial issues to start a startup. How could be? Are there any small startups in pharma sector, which types of startups in pharmacy? Okay, so see, as early stage startup entrepreneur, you don't have to worry about money. You don't have to worry about funding, because if your concept is so strong, a lot of people are sitting there with their briefcases in their hand to pour in money into business. Adding money to startups and getting equity out of it has become a big time business. So you don't have to worry. And then there are government schemes, there are government grants. You just have to explore relevant areas. For example, if you go to Startup India website, you will get a lot of options available for pharmacy segment. I get a lot of mails from Startup India that this is a challenge happening, this is a campaign happening, come up with an idea and all these things. So luckily in our country, the ecosystem has evolved so much since last 5 years. Startup ecosystem. Now government is coming up with a lot of policies. IIC is part of that particular policy. AICT and MHRD, innovation department of MHRD, they are coming up with IICs. EDC was already there. MSINS, Maharashtra State Innovation Society, they are coming up with a lot of initiatives. Apart from that, there are already government policies in that particular segment. And there are startups. So for example, see, it's ultimately what kind of cause you are trying to solve. Yesterday, I met one of the persons and he is working on healthcare industry. He is coming up with a platform for cancer patients, how to reduce time for diagnosis. Even if you say 1 day in diagnosis, it may help those doctors save that particular. So such kind of things are happening. So there are many startups. Don't copy those startups, but try to understand the fundamentals of that. And then you become so strong that people will come and help you. Today, talking about EvolvingX, it is just a matter of getting one support or one sponsor to ensure our operational cost. That's it. And we are there to empower 1 million youths in Maharashtra. Because the concept is so strong, the process has been built in a way that it will not fail. The worst case of our campaign will be 1 million youths will get life skills. Still, that will be the best case with respect to the industry norms and CSR norms, volunteering norms. So कुछ नहीं हुआ तो भी हमारा success ही है. Even if we fail, that is a success with respect to the society. So, and it takes time. It takes time. So आपको अगर startup करना है, आपको funding चाहिए. Justify why you need that funding. Your product, your offering, your service, your concept, your idea is capable of attracting every bit of money in this world. You have to justify your idea, right?
Sir, there is a question.
Yes, I.
Yes, Sahil.
Yes, I got the answer. You told it now.
Okay.
Yes.
Sir, there is another question. Does reading book and applying them really help for an entrepreneur?
So you can see a lot of books on here, right? I know the concept of every book, but I have read only 2 books in my entire life. First book, which is Shivaji the Grand Rebel, and second book is Alchemist. Only these 2 books I have read from first page to last page. Apart from that, I know the concept. Sometimes whenever I get time, I go through these books. Sometimes I need some help, some clarity. I refer these books, but I don't read it completely. 0 to 1, brilliant book. Now the concept of 0 to 1 is when you come up with something which is happening for the first time, the first computer in the world, the first motorcycle in the world, that was a journey from 0 to 1. After that, we got lots of computers with different specifications, RAM, ROM, or different vehicles with mileage and all these capacities, power, and all these things. That is a journey from 1 to N, right? So as an entrepreneur, if you can come up with which is from 0 to 1, that will be for the first time in this world. And you will be having first movers advantage. You will be having that royalty option, right? And you will be a creator of something. and when you create something you are bound to succeed, right? अभी ये बुक का कॉन्सेप्ट मुझे पता है, बट वो बुक मैंने पूरी नहीं पढ़ी. So book reading, or at least because I don't find a lot of time, I was writing my own book. So वो छोड़ के मैं ये करता तो मेरा बुक नहीं बनता. And then I consciously avoided reading other books when I was writing my book because it affects the mindset of a reader. वहां के thought process मुझे नहीं लाने थे. I wanted to put my thought process, my experiences, my journey, my observations in my book. So last 3 years मैंने कुछ किताब नहीं पढ़ा है. Though I had time, मैं क्रिकेट खेलने गया, but मैंने बुक नहीं पढ़ी. Because I wanted to be in that zone. I want to, what we say, put my perspectives in that book. हाँ, now again, understanding the concept will help you. Reading मतलब ठीक है, आप पूरी किताब पढ़ो, उसका समरी पढ़ो, but if you are smart enough, you will understand the concept and then you will try to apply that for your business. 0 to 1. आज तक 1 million hits को at a time किसी ने empower नहीं किया. इतने बड़े प्लानिंग के साथ किसी ने नहीं किया. So we are attempting for 0 to 1. हाँ, ऐसा कुछ होता है, ये कब पता चला? When I understood that concept, when somebody had read and they referred this concept to me, उनके साथ डिस्कस करते रहे, मैं सब पता चला मुझे. मेरे फ्रेंड ने बताया था 0 to 1 अच्छी किताब है, ऐसा होता है वैसा होता है. So you don't have to necessarily go through, unless it's kind of run book, wherein every aspect is a different perspective, then you can read that book. Shivaji the Grand Rebel. It's a life journey of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. And he was if you look at him as an entrepreneur, he has the best business model in the world, right? So, there are a lot of things which we can learn from him, especially as an entrepreneur. For example, since last 3 years, I was bankrupt in between, right? I had only 300 rupees in my account when my mom was in ICU, right? Now I started my career as a software engineer. I earned a lot of things. I bought a new house. I bought jewelry for my mom, for my wife. I collected some resources, right? Now, after starting my journey as an entrepreneur, I had to give away everything. मैंने फर्स्ट सैलरी से मेरे मॉम के लिए वो मंगलसूत्र बोलते हैं, उसको गंठन बोलते हैं मराठी में, राइट? सो वो खरीदा था. Now during the pandemic we had to sell that. Me and my wife went to jewelry shop and we sold that particular jewelry of my mom, which I had brought to her from my first salary. Now imagine the situation. हमारे सामने वो ज्वेलर उसको तोड़ रहा है, उसको काट रहा है, उसको गर्म करके ऐसे नाप रहा है. My wife is looking at me, I am looking at her. I am trying to control my emotions because if I break down, she will break down. My wife is controlling her emotions because if she breaks down, I'll break down. And it is, वो जब जलाते हैं, उसके साथ जो आपके strings attached होते हैं, वो जलते हैं, right? It is not so easy, but we were emotionally intelligent to control our emotions and accept the reality कि ये करना पड़ेगा. Because we are aiming for stars. We are not even looking at moon. We are aiming for stars. 1 million यूथ को एम्पावर करना है, इसके लिए करना पड़ेगा. ये पहले से हमने सोच के रखा था कि अगर ऐसा करना पड़ा तो ये करेंगे. हमने मेरा खेत बेचा था डैड ने, उसका पैसा यूज कर लिया पूरा ये स्टार्टअप खड़ा करने के लिए. मैंने फ्लैट खरीदा था होम टाउन पे. आई सोल्ड दैट बिकॉज आई वांटेड टू बाय लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स फॉर माय स्टार्टअप. एक मैक मैंने खरीदा 4.5 लाख रुपए का, बिकॉज उसके बिना वर्चुअल रियलिटी के सॉफ्टवेयर चलते ही नहीं. नॉर्मल लैपटॉप लोग लेके आप बैठोगे तो उस पर नहीं चलेगा वीआर सिस्टम. इतने सॉफ्टवेयर उसके हेवी है, इतने फाइल्स उसके हेवी है. सो यू हैव टू गिव अवे एवरीथिंग दैट यू हैव. नाउ कंपेयर द जर्नी ऑफ शिवाजी महाराज. पुरंदर स्ट्रेटिंग, पुरंदरचा तह जेव्हा झाला, he had to give away everything, his ego, his self-respect, his belongings. But after Purandar Treaty, and once he came back from Agra, he did nothing for 3-4 years or even for 5 years. He just built his capacity. He just built his army. He just built his strength. And then उसके बाद next 8 years में उन्होंने पूरा उनका empire खड़ा किया. So sometimes you have to take few steps back. You have to give away everything that you have. सर्वस्व पणाला लावणं काय असतं ते त्यांच्याकडून शिकलो, आणि ते माझ्या जर्नीमध्ये सुद्धा मला ते वापरता. So it's not only books. You can read people. You can read journeys of a lot of successful people. It is not only books. Book could be a compilation of these stories. So वैसा कुछ है तो उसको पूरा पढ़ो. उसका एक लेटर भी मत छोड़ो. Right? Because that will develop perspectives. That will not only be a method. EvolvingX methodology. It's not just a method. उसके लिए separate एक run book भी हम बना रहे हैं. But before that, you have to understand the concept by reading this book. वो बुक समझोगे, कॉन्सेप्ट समझोगे तो ही आप उसको अप्लाई कर पाओगे. आपको छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज समझेंगे तभी आप उनके जैसा सोच के कुछ तो बड़ा करने का ट्राई करोगे. अदरवाइज यू नो द रियलिटी इन दिस वर्ल्ड. सो बुक रीडिंग हेल्प समटाइम्स, बट in my opinion, मेरे केस में it consumes a lot of time which I cannot afford at this point in time. At least for next 2-3 years, काफी कम टाइम है मेरे पास to read books. हाँ, concept summary, nothing like it.
Okay, sir. There is a question in continuation with this.
Yeah.
Sir, what we have to do rather than reading to become a good entrepreneur or any other course?
So, see, to become a good entrepreneur, first you have to connect properly with your cause. I can give you thousands of examples, but I would prefer giving my example how I started my entrepreneurship journey. So I was in Nashik when I was officer. I used to visit lots of colleges for inspection and all. So I was in Nashik for a week. So Thursday, Friday, I was supposed to visit 2 colleges, and Saturday, Sunday, I had off. And then again, Monday, Tuesday, I was supposed to visit few colleges. So during that Saturday, Sunday off, one of the colleges, they invited me to their college and they asked me to enlighten their students. मैंने बोला enlighten वगैरह सब साइड में रखो, उससे कुछ ज्यादा होता नहीं. We can plan 2 days workshop for them. It was completely free, voluntarily, because I used to love interacting with youths and all. So 2 दिन का हमने workshop बनाया जिसमें communication skills, goal setting and planning, design thinking, innovation, industry practices, वैसे leadership skills and all these things which is required to be part of industry. वैसे हमने उसका framework बना के we had that. Now during design thinking session, once we completed that session, those students submitted 7 ideas. Now, to give you background of those students, they were not comfortable or confident to talk in Marathi. Forget about Hindi or English. They were very shy. They were low on confidence. And most of them were from rural and semi-urban areas. So it was bound to happen. We cannot expect them to be very confident and fluent in English. So they were struggling with that. However, when they submitted ideas, 4 of them had a huge potential to become a startup. It was the same time when Hyderabad rape case had happened, Priyanka Reddy's case. So one of the ideas shared by those students was, can we come up with a shoe which will have GPS signal and entire mechanism to trigger some signal to nearby police station, or some volunteering system that could be created to support this movement. Now, why shoes? Because when somebody attempts rape, they focus on the upper body of that girl. They never think of removing shoes of that girl. And for that girl, it is very easy to trigger a signal with some gesture, because legs are the powerful, what do we say, अवयव. आपल्या शरीराचे सगळ्यात powerful अवयव कोणता असतं? आपले legs असतात. So it will be very easy for that girl to trigger a signal with some gesture. And त्या रेप करणाऱ्याचा फोकस त्याच्या पायावर नाहीच आहे. So I mean, this kind of thought came from those students ज्यांना धड मराठी बोलता येत नव्हतं. And that was the day I realized कि I think as a person, I'll be maximum impactful in this segment, or this is something I should do at least for next few years, to create a platform for students from rural and semi-urban areas wherein they will get an opportunity to unleash their potential. There is no dearth of potential or caliber or talent in these students. It is just a matter of giving them a platform. And that realization happened to me कि हाँ, मी हे करू शकतो. आणि हे सगळ्यात चांगलं करू शकतो. I was impactful in my role as an officer. I was impactful in my role as a software engineer with Amlogs. However, I realized that I would be maximum impactful as a person if I do this. उसी दिन मुझे कुछ पता नहीं था entrepreneurship का, कुछ ज्यादा पता नहीं था क्या होगा and all these things. But I decided next 3-5 years, let's do it. In the evening after that workshop, I told my wife. She said, "Ja Simran ja, जी ले अपनी जिंदगी." So then after that, it had been a journey. So now that cause was very close to me. That cause I got when I realized something in my life. It made me realize the purpose or something which is best in me and how that best can help unleash the best in others. अगर आपका cause उतना close है आपके दिल के, if it is not only satisfying your brain but also your heart and to some extent your stomach, because that is also equally important. Now in our case my wife is working and she is earning decent now. जब मैंने decision लिया था तब उसका भी earning इतना नहीं था. Luckily she has also excelling in her career and now she is HR head of one of the biggest multinational companies. So now वो भी last 6 महीने से now we are settled. Otherwise it was not so easy. Now इतना होने के बाद भी हम क्यों कर रहे हैं? Because that cause is very close to me. That today if you ask me, that defines me as a person. अमोल निटवे क्या है? उसको ये करना है. That's it. If you are close to your cause like this, then you are bound to become a successful entrepreneur. मुझे कुछ नहीं पता था entrepreneurship का. I was an officer. मुझे program management, CSR, innovation, technology सब कुछ पता था. या जितना पता होना चाहिए था उतना पता था. But entrepreneurship नहीं पता था. But 3 साल देने के बाद, now I can say that I know at least something which is useful to millions of people. Right? I was having a conversation with my friend कि किताब क्यों लिख रहा है? I said, what if something happens to me tomorrow? My thoughts, my ideas will go with me from this world. But today, at least this book is there to convey what Amol Nitave wanted to convey to youths. And this book is ultimately making me immortal by eliminating my physical presence or the need of my physical presence. And I cannot reach to millions of people personally. It is impossible. But this book can reach out. And so the book is just one of the mediums to convey what I want to convey. तो इतना एफर्ट आप तभी डालोगे जब समथिंग विच इज वेरी क्लोज टू योर हार्ट आपको मतलब आपको लोग पागल बोलेंगे लिटरली. जब तक आपको लोग पागल नहीं बोल रहे तब तक आप उसमें पैशनेटली कुछ काम नहीं कर रहे हो. जब तक आप पैशनेटली काम नहीं कर रहे हो तब तक आप अच्छा एंटरप्रेन्योर नहीं बनोगे. मनी शुड नॉट बी द ड्राइविंग फैक्टर टू ब्रिंग दैट ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन थ्रू बिजनेस. इट विल कम टू यू. लोग ब्रीफकेस लेके बैठे हैं. But before that, you have to be ready. You have to be very clear. And that clarity will help you become the best entrepreneur. फिर आप better कुछ नहीं. सीधा best. You will become the best entrepreneur. You define your life goals. उसमें बैठाओ business plan को आपके. Something which will help you evolve as a person. Something which will help you evolve as a professional. And that will help our society evolve. Right? वो अगर आपके पास थॉट प्रोसेस आ गया तो आप सक्सेसफुल एंटरप्रेन्योर बनोगे. थोड़ा देर लग सकता है बट यू आर बाउंड टू बिकम सक्सेसफुल एंटरप्रेन्योर. राइट?